Hello. So what is going on, guys? It's Triple G here, back with another Tribes of Midgard video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how, in my opinion, and some of the opinions from what I've seen with co-op players and what I've seen in chat, we could round off Tribes of Midgard and make it the ultimate perfect game. There are a ton of things to go through in this video. Please make sure to hit that comment section below if you think we have missed anything. Otherwise, let's get straight into this video. So first of all, let's talk about the hideout. Now, at the moment, you can skip the hideout pretty easily by using tokens, meaning there is no real reason for you to go into the hideout, the underpass, and those desert areas. Now, whilst I'm not advocating that we should take those tokens away so there isn't an option for us to skip the hideout, I would like to see the hideout incentivized some way. One of the things I would like to see is that they add maybe a 20% chance for the hideout chest to drop a legendary weapon or piece of armor. This means that if you are struggling on resources, you can use the hideout to potentially go and farm for something decent that can really make the difference between killing Fenrir and not killing Fenrir. So you'd still be able to skip the hideout if you wanted to, but you know going in there that you have a chance to get a legendary item. The next thing I would look to change would be that not all legendaries are even right now in terms of how you make them. The legendary fire warhammer is a really difficult item to make, because not only do you need the previous versions of the warhammer to get it up to legendary, meaning that you will use a ton of resources. Those resources are actually in some of the more difficult areas, including the desert areas where you will find the amber and the garnets and all that kind of stuff. So it isn't until later game that you will be able to make this item, whereas if you take something like the Baldur's Blaze, you just need the right Jotun and the rest is pretty simple. So I would like to see those changed. The next thing I would like to see changed is the rune system. I would like to see multiple ways for you to get runes. So at the moment, you can get runes by just randomly in the world, or you can use your golden horns in the Jarl's house to actually buy a chance at some decent runes, but that is actually pretty costly. One of the things I would like to see is them introduce the tier system using the camps. So for example, a large camp has a chance for a legendary rune, a medium camp for a purple rune, you know, and so on and so on, giving you a reason to go and farm those camps for the runes to strengthen the run. I would also like to see, as well as just spending golden horns for runes, to actually spend souls as well, so that there is a good chance for us to get those runes that we actually want. Sometimes you can just go for a run and not get many runes at all, and it can feel a little bit frustrating. Next, I would like to be able to consume a potion on the ground without having to drop something if I'm full. One of the worst things in the game is having to go into your inventory and drop a potion just so you can drink a potion and then pick that potion back up again. So having a prompt that you can consume the potion whilst it's on the ground, maybe it's a speed potion or mana potion, whatever, so that it doesn't just sit there and get lost forever. It just would be a nice little change that would help speed up the process. Another thing that I think they need looking into is the walls and the barriers. Their health values are really low considering how much of a high resource cost they are to make. So if you've ever used a wall or a barrier or anything to protect your base, particularly in survival, you will notice that actually they're not actually that useful. The Hellthings will destroy them very easily, and when you consider the cost that it's just made to make them, it can be deeply frustrating. So I would either reduce the cost so that it doesn't cost as much to make, so you don't care about them perishing so much, or dramatically increase their health values, enabling us to get some value out of them. Next, I would like to see some changes made to survival. If you've played survival and tried to get to day 100, you'll know that after about day 40, you just kind of sit there and wait for a Jotun and defend at night. There is nothing more to do. I would like to see the camps reset more frequently, quests reset frequently, give us something to do. And this plays back into the runes coming from different camp levels as well. If that was the case, I would go back to the camps farming for the perfect set of runes in order to give me the maximum amount of damage. Another thing I would like to see from tribes is a different biome. So we have these swamplands for Land of the Bulls, we have the desert, we have the ice. I would like to see some other areas introduced later on in the game, maybe in the new seasons, in order to keep increasing that variety and adding some new weapons into the game as well. Then the classes, I'm just going to spitfire these straight out, guys, because I think there's just some points on each class. So the Berserker, I feel like the durability needs to be fixed and the explosions to not reset the rage there. The durability is affected by the stun mechanic in the Berserker's tree, so that needs to be addressed. The Sentinel, the button binding needs to be reviewed, as you cannot lock and use your projectile on your weapon without actually using the shield ability because it's bound to the same button. The Hunter, I feel like it shouldn't just be the resources that they pick up that should be doubled. It should also be the stuff that you farm from the pickaxe or from the lumber axe. The Ranger, I would potentially look at extending the role on the Ranger. Now, if you've ever played the Ranger solo and tried to fight Fenrir, when he does the jump mechanic towards you and you try and roll away, it is exceptionally difficult to get out of the way. I feel like the Ranger, as he wants to increase the range so he can use his bow, should have an extended roll. It should go further, or he could double roll. Give him something that allows him to manage distance a little bit better than just the abilities that he has in his tree. The Warrior, I think, although we've done a video on it, he should not be immune to temperature if he rolls. If you haven't seen that video, go and watch it. At the moment, he's absolutely nuts. The Seer and the Warden, whilst I absolutely love completely not having any durability and completely being immune to temperature on the Seer, I think that these are too strong and you will just default towards these characters too often. So I would potentially tweak it down to maybe 75% reduction in durability or reduction in temperature, just to balance these out just a smidge. And finally, just in general, the Guardian feels a little underwhelming. Another change I would like to see is I would like to be able to remove my cosmetic in the game. Sometimes I have cosmetic items. You know, if you've watched me on stream, I like to use the Valkyrie cosmetic. But if you've just unlocked a legendary and you might want to see that, or some new legendary armor, you cannot toggle that off whilst you're in game. You need to be outside of the game, so I would like to see that changed. The final thing, and I think this is quite an important one, is the difference between armor sets when you go blue and above doesn't really feel that impactful. If you are hit by a Jotun wearing blue armor or hit by a Jotun wearing legendary armor, it kind of feels like you're hit the same amount. They might be different, but it feels very negligible. I would like to see the impact of a legendary armor feel like the impact of a legendary weapon. Most of the legendary weapons feel absolutely badass with their special abilities and the amount of damage they do, but I don't get that feeling from the armor. The only benefit of the armor I really feel is the temperature, so I would like to see that changed. Guys, if you have any suggestions on what you would like to see in order to perfect the Tribes of Midgard game, let me know in the comments section below. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week, and otherwise, I'll catch you on the flip.